Have you ever felt like there's a vivid fire burning inside of you, yearning to break free and illuminate your life? That, my friend, is your vibrant life waiting to bloom. Welcome to the Vibrant Life Podcast. We are here to empower women just like you to liberate that vibrant life, to live authentically, and to harness the power within.
Our journey will take us through the enlightening realms of energy healing, goal setting, spiritual awakening, and so much more. We're stepping into the light of self-acceptance, of owning our power and potential.
If you have been yearning to dive headfirst into the world of entrepreneurship, or awaken your spirituality, or simply make peace with yourself, your search ends here at the Vibrant Life Podcast. As we embark on this enlightening journey together, we promise to hold your hand through every step of your journey to a more vibrant life.
Your adventure to true empowerment and authentic living begins here. Tap into the vibrant life you've always dreamed of. Subscribe now and join us at the Vibrant Life Podcast. Embrace your vibrant self. Until then, shine on.
Shine on.
Hello and welcome back to the Vibrant Life Podcast.
I think we're going to
Cassie.
be, this is the third one we're recording in a row, so I think we're going to be a little crazier and a little bit bouncier. I just told her, I was like, my face hurts from smiling so much.
Yes.
Which is good.
It's
good.
good.
It's good to be back into the swing of things.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, I missed it. I missed it so much. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, so we shared a couple podcasts ago that we haven't recorded since July, and it's September now. So we're really happy to be together in the same space.
Yes.
Doing this.
Doing good things. And we have to batch it because of times like this where we had some batched and then sickness came and things like that and vacations and our schedules didn't line. So yes, if you're watching these on videos, we're in the same outfits in a lot of them because we like to batch. But also, as a strategic business person and coach, that is something you should do. Batch everything if you can. If you're a content creator, just work smarter, not harder. Have systems. We repurpose things. So we're just trying to practice what we preach.
Yep.
Or practice what I preach.
That's what we're doing. So I'm Audrey.
And I'm Cassie.
Because we didn't introduce ourselves yet. We just jumped right into it because we've been doing this for so much. Today we're going to talk about listening to your body.
Yes.
So this is like a super big topic that is very near and dear to me because I'm a nurse. And so I'm all about, for most of my life, Western medicine, which as I got a little bit older, I was like, ooh, Western medicine is not fixing the problems. I'm learning now that a lot of the problems that I had were related to things I needed to learn.
Ooh, interesting.
So they were related to the journey that I was on, the journey I signed up for, and they were lessons I needed to learn in this lifetime.
I do feel like as I became a mom, I got more open to exploring all other medicines.
Yes.
I had a massage yesterday and a lot of these practices. So we were talking about alternative therapies, but so acupuncture, massage, something else that we were talking about wasn't physical therapy, but they are now classified as integrative medicine for insurance because they're like, oh my gosh, this works. The thing that we used to call alternative medicines, they make sense. There's a reason they've been around for thousands of years.
Oh, I'm wondering, you're making me want to check my insurance because I don't do as much because I'd always pay for those things out of pocket.
And we were talking about that. I was talking about that with my massage therapist. I was like, it is something over the last 6-7 years that I've really had to learn and I have to budget for is taking care of myself because when I was pregnant, I had so many complications. I could barely walk by the end of it. I had developed really bad back problems by the end and Western medicine wasn't helping me. They were just like, we can give you some pain meds.
We can give you a pill. If we can't fix it with a pill, we can't. They don't go to root cause.
Chiropractic. That was the other one.
Yes.
Massage therapy, chiropractic, and acupuncture.
Acupuncture.
Yes. Yeah. And so I did all three, actually, which is why we were talking about them, to fix my back problems. And now I don't have back problems. But for 4 months, I went to the chiropractor every day over lunch because I was a single mom and could not pick up my daughter and couldn't walk. And I was like, this doesn't compute. This equation is not adding up.
No.
And so for 4 months, I would go every day. I would get an adjustment. I would do some massage to help with the inflammation. And then I did acupuncture with that as well to help release and did some reflexology. So I just started looking into all these things and I was like, oh, these things are actually helping.
Yes.
But I had to listen to my body. And I think the reason it got so bad is because I had shoved everything down for so many years. And when you shove those down. They get stuck in your muscles, and all those
Yes.
feelings get stuck there, and they manifest into other things.
It's so true. So if you go back to
lot.
you're spot on though. If you go to Chinese medicine and they talk about qi, so in your body, you've got all these meridian, these energetic points. If you look at like Indian medicine, then there's chakras and energetic points. But a lot of these different cultures talk about energy in a different way, but it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's just a different way to look at it. So when you do acupuncture, that's literally it. You're releasing whatever's trapped inside the body. And if we are energy and we have a blockage somewhere, it's going to present with a physical problem.
Yes.
So your back pain, your trauma, all coming from probably around your uterus, your womb space, while you were experiencing trauma in a relationship, probably manifested all those physical symptoms. In Western medicine, if I can't give you a pill, I can't fix it. Now, sometimes you need pills, right? Sometimes you've got a raging like bacterial infection and you need antibiotics. Like, thank God that you don't have to die from that stuff anymore.
Right.
However,
vaccines, all good things.
Yes. We're not
anti-vaxxers.
We're not anti-vaxxers. Please.
We're not trying to get on that side of TikTok. We're not trying to do that.
And go to your doctor too, because they can find things like your labs and things like that. But I'm just saying that there's other ways to treat ailments and
to listen to your body.
And
that's, again, something that some of us have to learn later in life. Myself included.
Absolutely.
And to not push and to not,
That's just it.
Anyway.
I love that. Okay, so you touched on a lot of really great ones. So we're talking about energy trapped in the body. So acupressure. I love you talked about acupuncture. I love acupressure.
Yes.
I have an acupressure mat, and it is the bed of needles.
Yeah.
And so you lay on that thing, and it puts all these little spiky pieces in your back. It doesn't actually puncture any holes, but when you lay on it, you do have one.
Mm-hmm. I bought it when I had back pain, and I bought one for Jazz too, who was our daycare provider, who we met through.
Yeah,
she was also having back pain when I was having mine, and I bought her an acupressure mat for Christmas one year.
And how does it work?
It's great.
Isn't it so nice?
Yeah,
okay, great. When you first lay on it, you're like, "Ow, that hurts."
Right.
But then
you get the heat.
You get 3 minutes in, and you can feel your heartbeat in your entire back pulsating.
Yes.
And so it's stimulating your lymph system, so it's making all your lymph glands drain, which we need that. They don't actually drain on their own. They have to be manually drained. So if you're not an active person, they will never drain. They will just continue to hold fluid and be stagnant. So you have to, that's why people talk about the dry brushing.
Right.
Because it's releasing the lymph glands. And when you do any kind of dry brushing, you're going to go towards the heart because you want all of that to get put into your circulation.
The gua sha, I've seen that on doing the face.
Yes, I have one of those crystals that you put on your face.
I have one of those.
I should have used it this morning because it's allergy season for me, so I'm real puffy today.
Well, you look gorgeous.
Well, thank you. I feel like I'm having to lift my eyes up to see, though.
I have now moved to have a PEMF mat, which is a pulse electromagnetic field mat. So it's got crystals in it, and then you heat it up. And it just helps to kind of reset your energy. And I do that pretty much almost every day now because I got to this bad point of not being able to walk or lift my child. I'm much more like proactive now, and I'm open to trying new things.
Yes.
Because the things that I was, traditionally taught were the things that you're supposed to do weren't working. And these other things did. Yeah. And I love just trying new things. So that's also me.
And trying new things is good. And crystals hold a vibrational frequency.
Yes.
So you can actually use crystals to heal things or to raise the vibration of something. I actually use crystals in my Reiki practice.
Yes.
I use the colored stones, and I use them for the different color chakras, and I use them to help to charge that chakra to clear out bad energy and to fill it with good energy.
Yes. So if we're talking about health holistically, there's practices and therapies that we've gone into, but there's also just thinking of your mind, body, spirit, all as one.
Yeah.
All taking care of your energy, taking care of your body, your actual physical body, but your mental health, your spiritual health, all of that is kind of the holistic health, or at least that's how I define it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that's great.
So one of the things I've been working out pretty consistently this last month. So, you gotta start somewhere.
This is the ebb and flow. And guess what? I learned that Virgos are all about taking care of your body. So we're in Virgo season now. So I am also feeling super called to get into an exercise routine. And I from the past, I was like, oh, wow, I usually do get into it in the fall.
Oh,
I didn't even
interesting.
notice it, but I was like, yeah, I totally get into like some sort of new routine.
I normally do every change of the season. That's why I like do a whole new time block, and I do, new routine or new habits, and I track, because with me, I will like get into something, and then I was telling you, we have a book weekend scheduled this week. We're so excited. We're going on a book retreat, and I was like, I'm so excited, but whenever I go on like a vacation or a weekend away, or I get thrown off my schedule, because of my ADHD, I like forget how to human. So I get back and I'm like, I don't know what I like to eat. I don't know what I did. Like, so this is why I have to write everything down. But I've been in this like good routine. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do it even on our book weekend, so I don't forget that this is a thing I'm doing. Like, taking care of your body is a thing that you have to remind yourself of, but apparently it is for me.
It's hard for me too.
So where was I going? Oh, but this morning, so I have a plan, right? I have a plan that I'm like, this is what I'm doing. But this morning I was just like, wow, like I am not feeling it. Like, I got up at, 5:30 like I normally do. And I was just like, I came out here to get on my yoga mat, and I was just like, I just don't have the energy today. And I was like, I, in the past, would have beat myself up over that. I would have been like, God, you're failing. Like, why can't you do this? You suck at this. Like, just really beating myself up. And this morning I was just like, okay, I think my body just needs to relax for a little bit. Like, we've got a really busy day. I want to be in a good mood when I'm recording with Audrey. Like, I want to be rested when I go to this retreat. Like, and the other thing is, like, normally on a weekend that my daughter is at her dad's, I kind of just blob. I'm a human blob. Like, I read, I sometimes will go out with friends, but I am just very much like, no one needs anything from me. And I get that rest that I think a lot of us parents really need. And so I can't change that my daughter's not here, so I'm going to take advantage of it. And so I just really kind of
I mean, Blit is so good. You guys are all going to a book signing tonight, and I was like, it's really close to my house. Maybe I should go home and see my kids for a couple minutes, because I totally forgot to tell them that I'm not going to see them again until Sunday. And I mean, they knew I was going, but this morning I didn't like remind them, oh yeah, you won't see me tonight. So I was like, maybe I should go do that. And I was like, nope, empty Airbnb. I'm going to that house. I'm going to be there.
You're going to bet. Yeah, it's going to be great. But I hadn't done that this last time. I just had restless energy, and I'm trying to listen to where my energy is. So I just kept moving. So anyway, I'm at the end of that rope. I've been on as a parent and as a human being at like operating at like 100% for about a month now. And I'm very excited to go to this book retreat. But this morning, let's loop back. This morning, I was just like, hey, just be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you're tired. That's okay.
It's okay to be tired.
It's okay. You don't have to do the plan. That doesn't mean you failed. You'll just pick it up again tomorrow.
Yep.
I know that is like duh for some people, but for me, life-changing.
Well, no, I don't think that's normal I think what you are, that's normal, to beat yourself up when you don't stick to your plan or when you don't get everything done, is to feel bad instead of to give yourself a lot of grace and be like, you know what, I just can't today. And I'm getting much better at saying, I can't do this right now. I feel overwhelmed by this. Like, we're supposed to go somewhere. We're supposed to do something. We're supposed to have whatever going on. Yeah. I feel much better now saying, you know what, I don't have the mental capacity for that right now, and I need to stop.
And bringing it back to intuition. So I listened to that nudge and just gave myself permission to just lay here for an hour. And it's a good thing I did, because my daughter was having a very emotional morning, and I would not have had the capacity to handle her emotions if I had already pushed through mine to do this workout.
Yep.
It wouldn't have been restorative. It wouldn't have been fulfilling for me to do it. If I'm just like slugging through it, I would have already been depleted. So I had the extra rest, and I had, I was able to be gentle with her because I had just been gentle with me.
Yeah.
Where sometimes in the morning I'm like, we gotta go. I mean, you gotta get to school. You gotta do the things. Like, mornings are hectic for a lot of people. But this morning I was able to just be like, okay,
we're taking things.
We're going to be gentle,
right? Well, I think, and that's the important thing too, is like, if you hadn't listened to that, you had that intuitive hit coming in that you were going to need to be able to provide some emotional stability for your child. I think you listened to that. So not only that's how you were feeling, but you were also creating space
Yes.
for Gemma, even though you didn't know it.
Right. Because she wasn't awake yet. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was going to have a rough morning, but she did.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I'm having kind of a rough morning too. And like, that's okay. We're going to get through it together. And it was actually really great. It created this. So she handles anger the same way I do. We just kind of shut down. Like, we're not good at like speaking through our anger. And it's something that I've been like trying to figure out how to help her with. You know, we always want our kids to be more equipped than we are. Yeah, and so trying to figure that out. And actually this morning we had a breakthrough where I was like, are you just feeling mad because you don't know why? Like, I asked her some reasons why, and she was just like, I'm just upset. And I was like, okay, normally I do not get words out of this child.
She's naming it.
She named it. And then I was like, okay, do you have an idea of like how to make it better? And she didn't. And I was like, do you want me to share with you what I do? And I was like, sometimes I'm hangry. Like, you just woke up, you might be hangry. Yeah. So we joked about that because she's been joking about like smushing words together. And then I was like, I also will sometimes stretch and like picture the anger like leaving my body and like shooting it out. And we did a silly dance. But she went and she has this like coping skills poster for when you're feeling emotions. So she was like so excited to run and grab that. And she's like, okay, I think I want to pick. She like picked it, and we like talked through it. And it was a huge like breakthrough moment for us this morning. So anyway, just
the reason you're talking about that, the reason you're talking about that is because my 5-year-old has been having meltdowns, like really big meltdowns. And last night was the worst one. It was about an hour long, screaming, hitting, throwing things, like kicking at us. And we tried all the things. Like, we tried like just pressure to hold him. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to talk to you because you're so overwhelmed. I know you're not computing right now.
Right.
So, but then we did start talking, and then we yelled because I'm like, we're not getting through to you. I put vinegar in his mouth just because sometimes that can snap him out of it.
Oh, interesting.
It did very briefly, but I was like, I don't know what else to do. Like, we tried threatening, we tried taking stuff away, and I was like, I don't know how to get to him, but I was like, I know you're angry. You're so angry. Why are you angry? We couldn't figure out why he was angry. Yeah. He does not know why he was angry. Yeah. And he's been angry. I don't know why a 5-year-old would be angry like that. Yeah. He's got all these new things. He's going to kindergarten now. Like,
and it might just be that.
But I love that I have tools like that for my daughter. We haven't used them in a long time. So that's what I need for him. So revisiting that for me was like light bulb.
There you go. So I used a company called Generation Mindful. I love them. I found them when Gemma was like 2. Like, she wasn't even like talking. Like, she was, and I just like, I bought all their stuff and I've used it since. So they have like card games that you can do to help talk to your kids. They have posters so you can create like a cozy corner. And that's normally Gemma.
That idea.
She will, if she's upset or like sad, mad, really feeling any big emotion, she just wants to be by herself. She doesn't want to be touched. She doesn't want to be, talked to, because she just can't. It's like all stuck in her throat, which is, I can relate to. So anyway, we have a little tent in her playroom that she can shut the doors, and she's got all of her things in there. So she's got, you set it up with like some of the calming techniques. So you give them like a toy to squeeze, some colors, because sometimes they need to do that, a fidget toy. So we just have kind of her like calm down kit.
Yes.
But this Generation Mindful will walk you through all of that, and they have kits that you can do and posters that you can put on the wall. So for me, I love a kit. I love a like setup. So I was like, I'm just gonna go with this.
Yes.
But it's been helpful, and they have like animals that go with each of the emotions, and she really relates to that because she wants to be a zoo vet. So she loves all of the animal tie-ins and how the animals have different emotions. So
I love that.
Yeah, I'll share it with you after.
Yeah, I was going to say, I need to look into that because this morning I was just scratching my head on, well, what we're doing is not working, so we have to go back to the drawing board and figure out something else. But yeah, trying to get your child to intuitively listen to what's happening within your body right now. Well, something is awry.
Yeah, and actually that's a new question for me is, do you know why you're mad?
Yeah.
Because sometimes she'll start getting worked up about something small to me.
Yeah.
We need to make that clarification because it's big in her world.
That's exactly
it. So something that's maybe small to me, and then it will kind of snowball, and then a half hour, an hour later, she doesn't remember why she's mad. She just knows she's mad.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I had to be like, well, I'm that way too sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I get mad, and
it's good to sit with
when I'm
emotions.
PMSing, anything could set me off guard.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm mad. I'm just mad.
And I struggled a long time to learn to, I was taught to stuff those emotions down.
Yeah.
You're not taught to actually feel through them. Like, you throwing this fit is making everyone else uncomfortable, so stop it. And so then, but you don't understand. So for him, I tried to create a safe space for him to be angry, but he kept screaming, and he's got asthma. So I was like, I can hear the inflammation happening in your throat. I was like, you really need to stop screaming.
Right. And then you get worried for another reason.
So I was like, you have to stop screaming. But I could not get him to stop screaming. And I know he didn't understand why this was happening. I didn't understand why this was happening. But creating that calm when everything in their world is falling down is so important. But yeah, it gets difficult when it goes on for so long. That's when I was just like, what else are we going to do here?
Right. And so one of the other things I've done, going back to holistic health, is I've actually taken Gemma to Fonda, who is my energy lady. So she does body talk. So she pulls out the emotions stuck in your body. You don't necessarily, and she'll ask you like, do you know what this relates to? And she's like, sometimes you just don't know. It's just emotion that's stuck.
Well, that's just it. Being an energetic being, you've got all of these pieces. You might not even be pulling something that belongs to you. It might be somebody else's energy. It might be ancestral. It might be familial. It might be something that you dealt with in a past lifetime. So you don't necessarily know. And for me, I've picked up some things on my son for previous lifetimes and him having to deal with anger. Well, I mentioned a few podcast episodes ago, my husband having some anger issues that he's had to work through. So it could be familial that way too. But for a 5-year-old to be that angry, it was so bizarre to me. So why is this coming up? But I love the body talk thing. So maybe we need to do something like that.
She has said it's helped. So, and it's usually around transition times. I took her when she was starting kindergarten, or like when she started spending nights at her dad's, I took her because it brings up a lot, and they don't have the vocabulary. I mean, half the time I don't have the vocabulary as a 35-year-old like, to name all my emotions because we didn't grow up that way. We want to equip her to be better. We want to equip Miles to be better.
That's just it. I think I started talking about that. We were taught to tame it. So then, yes, I want a safe place for him to explore those feelings, but it can't disrupt everyone else around him. Like with the screaming, it can't be unsafe to him. The hitting, like we need to find an outlet for him to be able to express anger in a safe way. He's got this giant squishmallow. I was like, punch the squishmallow.
Right.
Like it's okay to hit something that's soft like that.
Right.
Like it's okay to get it out in that way. But I love the body talk is great. I should consider doing some Reiki with them because I have done that before too. We can pull out the negative energy. I don't use it with my own kids as much as I would like to. That would be a good thing. Other holistic, I'm thinking of other alternative things for health issues. I saw an intuitive healer, an intuitive nutritionist a year and a half ago. I was having problems with eczema. And if you know me, in 2008, I think is when it really took off. I was covered, like my entire face, my arms, my hands were so blistered from washing my hands at the hospital that they would like weep and ooze after I washed my hands. I was like this for years and years and years. So I saw a naturopath in 2010. His name was Ned Looney. I was like, what a great name.
That inspires confidence.
Right? Or like, you know, people have names like that. Like we had a Dr. Hart who was a cardiologist, and like Dr. Glowwacky was a urologist. Like Glowwacky. Like it just sounds phallic. So I love that. His name was Looney. But he told me I had leaky gut syndrome. So basically you have an overgrowth of bacteria in your gut and it puts holes in the lining of the intestines. And then when you eat things, it gets into the bloodstream. It's not supposed to get in the bloodstream.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be broken down into little teeny tiny particles. And so so I was having these allergic reactions over and over and over and over again. And so Western medicine was not acknowledging that now. Well, now Western medicine does poop transplants for people who have issues with, they can't get their gut biome to be healthy enough. So it is funny to see how some things have shifted where they're including more things like that. But my gut health was, man, I took care of my skin and then I kind of had a relapse. And so when I saw this intuitive nutritionist, she went through all the systems. I tested positive for radon. So we did some nutritional supplements to help pull the radon out of my body. But I went from using steroids from 2008 until 2022. I used steroids that entire time, and then I withdrew from topical corticosteroids, and that process is really, really ugly because everything gets really bad before it gets better.
I remember that. I remember you talking about that.
It got so bad, but she was able, with nutrition, and she did muscle testing. So that's where I was going with that. You're talking about Fonda. It's fabulous. So she literally puts your arm up in the air and she pushes on it, and things that make you weak make your arm go down, and things that keep you strong.
Fonda did something like that, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I've wanted to do a nutritionist. My mom has a friend who has fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
And she started seeing a naturopathic nutritionist, and it's managed her pain. Like,
isn't that
it's
amazing?
decreased it like an insane amount.
I love that.
Yeah. And
so with the muscle testing, I use it sometimes just like if I need something. Like I used it with COVID vaccine. I had a COVID vaccine at work and I was like, do I need this? And it was like I would go backwards for no and forwards for yes. And so for a little while there I was going backwards. And then one day I got hit and I went forward. It's like, yes, you should vaccinate. And you know what? I didn't vaccinate because I was like, oh, I don't want to feel bad this weekend. Because we're going into the holiday weekend. Guess what? I got COVID on New Year's, and that was like the bad COVID. I was so sick, like where I got to day 5 and I was like, okay, this is the day I either get better or I die.
Oh no!
Because I was so sick. I was having a hard time breathing.
Oh, no.
I couldn't smell smells and I couldn't taste, and that was the weirdest feeling ever. But I had that intuitive hit that yes, you should vaccinate for COVID.
Yeah, and then you didn't.
And I didn't. I waited just a little too long because I still had, like, it wasn't quite, like I was in the first round that got vaccinated. So it wasn't quite time. I was trying to decide on when I should do it.
Yes. Okay. Because it was like when they were first rolling them out.
Yes. So not that I think you shouldn't vaccinate for COVID, but also speaking of COVID, when my husband got it last week, he had COVID and he was really sick, like just flu-like, like achy, fever, not feeling good. And I just kept envisioning this golden bubble around me that was protecting me, that was keeping everything negative out, including illnesses. I was like, I don't get sick. And I used to get sick all the time. It probably has something to do with the leaky gut, getting exposed to lots of things. Yes. But I would get sick probably, I would say I was sick probably every other month, every year, all the time.
That's crazy.
So a few years ago with this intuitive nutritionist, I decided that I was no longer going to get sick. I was like, this is a mindset. I don't get sick. So with that, I did not get COVID, even though I slept next to him every night. And one of my daughters did. But the other kids, I kept putting them in protective bubbles. And I was like, oh, somewhere along the line, Amelia, you just decided that
she popped her bubble.
I just let it in. But she wasn't very sick compared to him. She had like a cold-like symptom for like 2 days, and that was it. So I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So somewhere with my like holistic health, I also can just envision being protected and saying statements like, I don't get sick. I am healthy and vibrant, that help like manifest how you feel.
The health you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about that a little bit. Of part of this health journey that I'm going on is changing my mindset. Not like I'm trying to lose weight or I'm trying to be healthy. It's like I am a healthy person. I'm acting as a healthy person does. Like I am the kind of person that goes to the gym on the weekend.
Yeah.
I am that person now.
You're creating that.
We're using the I am statements because we practice what we preach.
Yeah, absolutely. I got home last night and had a lot of energy, and I finally broke out my stair stepper, which I didn't use all of vacation time. And I was like, I'm doing a step-episode tonight. And I did. I did a step-episode.
I love that step-episode. I'm still in that.
I did a step-episode. So I watched the show and I did some steps. It was great.
I love it.
So if you have questions about holistic healing, this is my niche. So
yes, this is Audrey's jam.
Yeah, this is my jam. So if you're having health problems and you want to reach out on options, I also have a book that talks about the spiritual meaning behind physical ailments, and honestly there's like some tips and tricks in there on how to clear things out energetically. I've had really great luck with that. So if you want a Reiki session, if you want a card reading session, if you want to just talk about things in an overall picture without being involved I still work Western medicine, so if I think you need to go to a doctor, I will absolutely tell you to go to a doctor.
Yes.
And or I've got some options of people in this area, if you're in the Des Moines area, that are holistic healers.
Yeah.
We got some ideas that way.
So anyway, listen to yourself, listen to your body. If you need to go explore one of these, if one of these is calling out to you, act on that little nudge from your intuition. If you feel like you need to go to the doctor,
go to the doctor.
If your body is like, hey, calling out for help, maybe do that too. But check in with yourself and be gentle with yourself. And it's all about aligning that mind, body, spirit. You know, are you making sure that you're doing something to care for all of them every day?
Yeah. And let us know. Let us know what you thought. Comment, push all of our buttons.
Right.
On social media. Maybe not on Spotify. You can comment on Spotify.
You can. We can do like the little like post poll.
Maybe, yeah. I'll do a poll this round.
Yes.
Partake in our poll, please. And then, as always, Cassie will have an amazing podcast pal. We're not getting a lot of hits on the podcast pal, so I don't know if we're not talking about it enough or...
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know, every week we have some kind of guide that goes along with our episodes. So it's free to you. We're going to leave it up for about 2 weeks after each episode, and then it goes into our library for our Vibrant Life Society people to access forever. But for you, if you're listening to this, you have 2 weeks to go get the podcast pal, which will be, if we're asking journaling questions, we reiterate those. We usually expand on some of these, but it's just our way to give you a resource to kind of integrate what we're talking about in the podcast into your daily life. So going beyond the podcast and actually taking that action
for yourself.
So
I love it.
Enjoy.
All right, great.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
See you next week.
Thank you for tuning into the Vibrant Life podcast. We hope today's episode has energized and inspired you to live your best life. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so as to never miss an episode. And please take a moment to leave us a review. Your feedback fuels our mission to bring you more valuable content. Remember, your journey to vibrant life is ongoing. Stay connected with us on social media at Vibrant Life Society for daily tips, motivation, and community support. As we wrap up today's conversation, we encourage you to embrace each moment, pursue your passions, and prioritize your well-being. Together, let's create a life that radiates with energy and purpose. Until next time, live vibrantly. See you in our next episode.